Art style study number 4. A final artist out of this, what is actually a 5-part series, is Noon Vincent. This artist is much different from the rest. The other artists have had a decent amount of semblance, all being semi-realism, but this one's different. This one's an anime style, and there is a whole lot to this guy's art style. For one, the most notable thing is the vibrant backgrounds and the colorful effects going on, and the cel-shaded colors and the very serious looking faces. The line work is quite varied with thin and thicker lines. The eyes are quite vibrant. There's a pretty high contrast. So I think this one, it's a very nice difference. There is one thing I'll say though. For this artist, I did look for videos and processes, and all I can say is I found nothing. I am just going to have to look and guess. Oh boy. Damn, dude's got that jawline. Damn, these are some angular eyebrows. These just go straight up to the stars. Damn, this dude's got lips. So far, pretty fun. I think this one's going to be the most fun out of all of them. This just looks fun. It just reminds me of when I first started drawing, because I used to draw a lot of anime back then. Oh no, there's just something real fun about drawing anime, that's for sure. Line art can die in a hole for all I care. I think for my sanity, I just gotta turn my brain off. Shut up, fans. I don't know, they kind of get, my fans kind of get a little loud when I do pretty much anything. It's kind of weird. Like, what's so exciting about me opening up freaking Overwatch? Also, you probably heard it. My microphone sounds a lot better. And that annoying whine is almost completely gone. Sad it isn't completely. Almost so. Now here comes the difficult part. There seems to be colors happening in the background. My only problem is with, oh, wrong layer. My only problem with this is how are these colors made? 'Cause there's colors and a lot of it. And I don't know what the theming of these colors are. I just see colors. I'm gonna try my best to replicate it. I don't have any way of like really checking what this is supposed to be like. All I know is that there's colors being thrown around, and that's the best I can do, honestly. So I haven't seen any, I couldn't find any progress videos, no nothing. So I generally don't understand how any of this is made. I personally am just gonna try my best, and now it's time to color Gyro Zeppeli over here. You're like, it seems to have a bit of a gradient. It does have a gradient. That's just a pain in the butt, because that means that each and every single thing needs to be put on its own separate layer. Or I just put shadows on its own layer and put everything and then put the basic coloring on this layer. It's still a real big pain in the butt to do. I know I said that I thought this would be the most fun one. If I'm honest, this one's the most boring one. Despite the other ones being some of them being super anxiety inducing, and just me being confused the entire time, and it being pretty difficult. This one just feels very boring. I really wonder, should I be a fandom artist? Just completely switch. I just make portraits about JoJo, or just like anime in general. Yeah, that's very interesting. I wonder if I should do that. I mean, I could do it, and it doesn't sound like a bad idea either. Sounds like a pretty good idea, to be honest. Just go for something a little more niche. But also at the same time, like, when that fandom dies, so do I, for the most part. So that comes with its own difficulties. Like, if the fandom is, like, a pretty big one, then I get tons of growth. But if the fandom dies, for any reason, then now I have problems. And I could jump ship, but jump ship might not be so successful. Yeah, I don't know if I should do a highlight the other day. Okay, do it. Huh? Bottom part down here, but I don't really know what I'm looking at, so I'm just not going to draw it because I don't understand it. And now you might be saying that's lazy. And to that I say, yeah. Okay. Ugh. Why do I always yawn like this? I haven't yawned at all today until I started drawing. I guess that's just to prove how bored I am of drawing this. Like, I just want to be done. My goodness, this is taking too long. I've been working on this for days. I don't want to work on this anymore. I'm going insane. I went from really disliking this to now really liking it because of this. This is fun. Before, it was painful and awful, and now turn brain off and art go blur. I'm close to the finish line, and that's all that matters. That's all I gotta think about is I'm close to being done. I am not really going for accuracy right now. Like, I'm not going for 100% accuracy. I'm just doing this to be finished, and so I have something, but that's pretty much it. I'm finally done. I'm finally through with this madness. Time for the second part. For this part of the video, I basically said absolutely nothing because I was so tired from the first one. So what I started doing was I started drawing a thumbnail just so I can get a general idea of how I want to, you know, make this entire piece, so then I don't have to spend a lot of time sketching. Since Vincent typically draws anime characters from different anime series, I had chosen Blue Lock, and I had chosen specifically a more recent Blue Lock panel for my reference, and this is Isagi. Really do like this series. Currently the only manga I care for. Now I start doing the line art. I'm keeping the lines relatively thin because in this art style it appears, what I would say, decently thin, and then I'm adding this weird black lines all over the eyes because that is just a special thing that's going on with this main character over here. And then now I'm doing the painstaking process of drawing in all that hair, and pretty detail too. And only afterwards I realized that Noon Vincent's hair isn't this detailed. For the ball, I had just decided to trace straight from the panel because I ain't doing all that. You see all those weird hexagon things that has a hexagon inside of it, and then it's got to match up with the perspective. I ain't doing all that. I spent so much time on the first one. I ain't spending a whole bunch of time just to do some hexagons. Now I am working on the background, putting down all the flat colors. And also resizing Isagi's head over here. Putting down that grass was pretty painful because the fill tool doesn't fill in all those weird shapes for blades of grass. So I had to do that manually, and now I am putting down all the shadows and putting a bit of texture work onto the background. Very simple texture work, and those highlights are atrocious, and I never really bothered to put any care or attention into them because I only find drawing the foreground fun. Now I'm working on putting down the flats for Asagi over here. Yet again, the fill tool doesn't fill in everything and I have to go back in manually. Fixing up the hair because it's a little flat on one side. Putting down the actual skin tone, and the skin tone is looking a bit yellow. Fixing up the hand because the hand looked utterly atrocious, and now it looks pretty good. And I didn't even sketch for that. I kind of just went in there and did it. I start shading here. I also adjusted the colors just a wee bit just to have it not be so yellow. Now I am shading onto the hair. I apparently already shaded everything, but skipped over that. Okay. I mean, there's nothing really special about the shading. It's mostly just I'm working on one layer at a time, and here's a second layer of shadows. Gotta have that two-tone shading in there. Now I started to work on the special effects for this, or visual effects. I don't even know what type of effects these are, but I started working on the effects for this drawing, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't even really know exactly what I was doing. I didn't really get much too close with the when I was actually referencing one of Nude Vincent's art, so this one didn't end up turning out that well either. Sometimes it gets a bit more like this bright blue. Simply, I just put a glow layer on top, and then now I'm adding glow onto everything. And then I was adding a slight bit of a color adjustment to the actual like layers underneath it, so then there's actually a bit of light bouncing on it. I had noticed it was in Nude Vincent art style, so I made sure to implement it here. Now that both art pieces are done, I can give my quick reflections on it. And I didn't do a good job replicating Nude Vincent's art style. In a lot of areas, like the background is very blurry and not quite as vibrant, colorful, and detailed. Same thing with the effects. The line art is thinner than what it was supposed to be, and the proportions in terms of the face are a little off. A lot of things I didn't get quite right with this one. Now on to a reflection of the second piece, and I think this one came out better, but in terms of emulating Nude Vincent's style, I don't think I did particularly that well. I think the effects, while decent, aren't quite the same, and just the shading, just the coloring, everything doesn't feel quite right. It kind of just felt like I was just doing my own thing. It was still fun though, but didn't do what I set out to do.